Well, hello folks off YouTube. My name's Ian. Welcome to me shed. Get that. Nearly got to the wall. In the last video that I was talking to Scouse Jed about these alternators. So I rang the yard up today, £1,000 a ton. So I've got to make the decision. I don't know, do I take it in, do I not? I might just do the one, do it the hard way with the angle grinder. Anyway, we've got the scale set up. This is an average one. Stick it on. And 690, almost 7 kilos. So £6.90 I would get for that today if I took it in as it is. So to get more than that, I'm going to need at least 1 kilo of copper out of it, and then maybe 1 kilo, 1.5 kilos of aluminium, which is £1,000 a ton at the moment. So we'll see. I'm gonna do it the hard way because I've got to decide whether I'm keeping them just to build that machine to strip them, or take Jed's advice and say just weigh them in and they've gone. I also took the opportunity to cut down that parasol light. Not decided yet if I'm having 2 heaters or just the one, but at least it's not as big. Right, crack on. Well, dead quick one this. Angle grinder straight through the bolts. Take the nuts out, take the Allen key bolts out the back, knock that off, that knocks off, bang bang. You separate the stator from the rotor. Right, we will grind those off, weigh the copper. We'll get this top off. This is the hard part, is how to get this that off. And then we do the hard part. These 2 clams are pressed together on this shaft. Tell you what, I'll get that off first, talk about it. Well, you knock a little cap off and that uncovers, you can see it, it's something like a, I don't know, 18.x, and I don't have anything like that to go in there. More nearest I've got is something like that, and that ain't gonna do it. So I decided to put a couple of slits with an angle grinder, and then with a chisel and a good smack I split the aluminium casing off. It still leaves the collar on, but so I'm a bit pressed for time. I think if I put a new blade on here, it will go through there and I'll be able to cut that off, take that off, and we'll see where we are. I thought I'd make my life a little easier and take this end bearing off. Now I don't have a bearing puller, but 2 wedge-shaped chisels either side. Tap, 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 tap. And off she comes. This side now. So I went round with the angle grinder. I didn't change blade, and I think I've got it where it'll snap off. Just a little pip. A little pip there. So I mean, I can get that off now. That's another bearing. Might be able to do the same thing, get a chisel underneath. I think I'll split the casing with the grinder, put a chisel in, open it off. So with a little brute force and ignorance, well, hammer and chisel, we've took the fan blade off, both sides. We split the casting, put a chisel in, spread it apart, that lifted off. Right, so if I had a press, I could put that in the press like that and then press that straight through. But I don't have a press. The device that snobby scrap picker used, found some chalk, didn't I, the other day? There we go. And he had a flat plate that kind of sat on there. You had a hydraulic bottle jack that sat on top of that, and then he had in 3 places, that's a little bracket with hole in, that's a bracket with hole in, and off that, I just imagine that enlarged. He had an arm that would swivel with an hook on. That would swivel. So you put that on, your arm would swivel and it would catch in these in 3 places. And then as you started to pressure hydraulics, that would shove that up, but these arms on the one at the front, or 4 even, whichever, would catch in there, so it would force the top piece off. And that's what I was wanting to make, and I still may do in the future, but at the moment I need to know if it's worth doing. So this is pressed on. I haven't got a press. 2 ways to get it off. You either heat it up so that expands and you can knock it off, or I will cut through with a grinder, split it, knock it off. Brute force and ignorance. Right, watch your ears, it's going to be noisy. Oh, I felt it go, so I stopped so I could switch the camera on. So that's the top part. Like I said, it's pressed on. So will I be able to knock that through? Right, it's a bit bigger. It's a bit wider than that. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Need to raise that up a bit. Trying to get 2 arms on this side and 2 arms on that side, and a bigger hammer. Not quite working how I expected. It's knocking all the copper off. That means you don't have to take the other side off. You only have to take one side off. And get at the copper. Right. I need to put that to one side. I need to cut the ends off that, and then I'll do. Right, no messing, straight with the grinder, cut them off. Hopefully be able to knock it off. May have to cut that side, and then punch them through. Watch your ears. Well, Jed, I'm thinking, I mean, it's relatively easy. It's half an hour of brute force and ignorance. It's getting there, but is it going to be worth it if I have six, 7 of them? Right, so I've... Nah, it's not hot, Ian. Shouting before you've been hurt. Right. Hopefully, I get my pinchers on that side, smack it with the hammer, comes out. If not, I cut the other side off, and then using a particular tool that I have around here somewhere. There we go. Had this for a long time. It's, well, you know that square that we had, sliding bevel square. It's an old one of those, but it's tapered, which means I can put it, because these are kind of tapered, I can put the fat end at that end and the thin end and tap it through. I had that years. And again, again, going back to snobby scrap picker, and it's a shame he doesn't do videos anymore, because he does come out with some really nice tips. If you've not got something like that, a tapered bit of steel, you look for an old spanner, you'll find, not this one, but an old spanner, you'll find that they're tapered, and you cut the head off and you can smooth it down a bit. None of the ones I've got are tapered, but likewise you can get one that's just the right thickness. Cut the head off and you've got yourself a nice triangular shaped, not triangular shaped, rhomboid shaped, fatter at one end. It's fat at one end, thinner at the other, a rhomboid. You're waffling, Matthews. Yeah, well folks, it looks like it's going to be a slow one. I tried gripping it with my pincers, getting hold of it like that, getting a good grip, then not really doing it. So it's take me drift, find my thicker end. Thicker end goes at the thicker end. I'll work my way around. What I will try is going halfway down, all the way around, and then seeing if I can pull them out. I'll see you lot when it's done. Well, I won't deny it, folks. That was 30 odd minutes of sheer torture. So I ended up cutting both sides of the windings off, and then tapping each one through, and as you remove it, it makes it less stiff, so it kind of like deforms, and it gets harder and harder to knock them through, to the point where once I got halfway, I was already knocking them a third of the way through and then spinning round. But it's done. All I've got to do now is collect all the copper together, and weigh it. I'm going to take Jed's advice, I think. Can't spend an hour on each alternator. Right, let's clean up, weigh up. Suppose I'd better get this show on the road and video wound up, I think. We've had a clean up, we've stripped everything. To recap, one alternator, it weighed 6.9 kilogram, £1,000 a tonne. Simple maths, I'd get £6.90 for it if I took it in as it is. Right, what we're going to have here: copper, iron, alley. That's all we've got. We've got copper, we've got alley, and we've got iron. I really need at least a kilogram and a bit to have made this worthwhile of copper, because copper's number 2, round about 580, 590 a kilogram. So without doubts, it's 1.5 kilogram. We're not bothering about 5 grams. 1.5. That. I'm going to go middle of the road, 590. All the aluminium, all the cast aluminium, 1 kilogram. Generally speaking, is round about £1,000 a ton. That's simple, that's a pound then, isn't it? Don't need to do that. That's a pound. It might be an extra 5p. Yeah, does it matter? Doesn't really matter, 5p. And the iron. That was a pain to do. It really was. Aye, 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 aye. 420. And we'll do some generalising. That's probably, I got £1.30, like £1.30. No, I got 13p. I got £130 a ton. So I got 13 pence a kilogram. Right, let's do some adding ups. So I've done the maths. I've done the mathematics, and £6.90 as is. This is what we get. Stripped, I'm getting £10.40. The difference is £3.50. Well, there we are, scores on the doors. An hour's worth of work. A lot of hammering, a lot of banging, a lot of chiselling, a lot of grinding to make an extra £3.50. I've got 6 or 7 of them, make an extra 20 quid. Take me 6 hours. Okay, if you've got the press, bit of grinding, cut it off, stick it in the press, poof, off, out, easy, easy. But I don't have one. Solar cable. I know if I strip a kilo of solar cable, I make an extra £1. Would I strip 3.5 kilos of solar cable to make an extra £3.50? Yes, I would, because you just put that through the machine and pull it apart. All in all, seeing that I'm into making some space, and I've got plenty of small things to be going at, I can't justify putting 4, 5 hours making an extra 20 pounds. Bite the bullet, take Scouse Jed's advice and weigh them in. And on that, good night. I'll see you in the next one.